Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's your man Wise, and today I had to bring this one to your attention because the events unfolding are not only shocking but demand a closer look. Let me keep you informed on what just happened outside of Donald Trump's tower in Las Vegas yesterday, a situation that's as concerning as it is unprecedented. Let's start with a bit of context. If you guys recall, I'm sure you guys remember Ryan Ruth. He's the individual who previously attempted to assassinate Donald Trump during the golf outing. Now, it seems that two more incidents, very, very close, are tied to Ruth, and that has emerged at this point. And in New Orleans, a man carried out a tragic attack, leaving 10 people unalived and over 30 people injured. And I heard that there were two or three more people that have perished as well. Meanwhile, in Las Vegas, another individual detonated a Cybertruck outside of Trump's hotel. The unsettling part is that both events happened on the same day and appear to be connected. And here's where it gets even more chilling. Both individuals were reportedly veterans, obtained their vehicles from the same company, and had ties to Fort Bragg, the very military base that Ryan Ruth visited over 100 times prior to his attempted attack on Trump. This web of connections is too significant to dismiss as coincidence, raising serious questions about what's truly going on here. According to reports, the individual behind the Cybertruck explosion seemed intent on targeting Donald Trump directly. When you piece together the timeline and the links between these individuals, it paints a deeply disturbing picture of potential radicalization and coordination. Now, Benny, he has some additional insights into these events that we'll delve into shortly. But one thing is clear. This is far from a peaceful political climate. The notion of a peaceful transfer of power seems increasingly distant when incidents like these are occurring. And before we dive in deeper, if you haven't done so already, please make sure that you like, share, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on so you never miss an upload. Watch this video all the way through. And I want to send prayers, one, to Donald Trump, but more to the families of the people who have perished in the attack out in New Orleans. My prayers and condolences to you guys. Hey, it is crazy out here, so we must stay prayed up. And as my shirt says, if pray, don't worry. It's something my grandmother used to tell me all the time. She used to say all the time, if you're going to pray, don't worry. God got us. Again, like, share, subscribe, watch the video all the way through. And without further ado, let's go.
Guys, it's Benny. We're not idiots when we see with our own eyes a vehicle explode like this. I don't care if you're an explosives expert, if you are somebody who's just watched enough Hollywood movies. This is a attack. This is what happened in front of the Trump Tower yesterday. And we said from our initial reporting, this seems like a targeted attack. The use of a Cybertruck, the use of a Tesla right in front of the doors, and then the explosion like this that looks like fireworks. And you can see here at the bottom, obviously, this is what a actual car battery fire looks like. Okay, it looks like a car that, you know, slowly lights on fire because the battery malfunctions. This is a bomb, and we've been proven right in that, ladies and gentlemen. Elon Musk confirming that it is a bomb, and it was a bomb carried in the bed of the Cybertruck, as all vehicle telemetry was positive at the time of the explosion. Who lit the bomb? Well, the individual that's being investigated as an act of terror, as a terrorist, is in fact a member of the armed forces, and a high-ranking member of the armed forces, an operations director, intelligence manager, currently serving, not a veteran. There was an attack by a veteran, an Army veteran. Both guys are in the Army. Within the hour in New Orleans. Now, some are saying that there are some very strange connections between the two of them. Nonetheless, we're going to take at face value what we know now. And what we know now is that both attacks used electric vehicles, electric trucks to be precise. They both targeted iconic American properties or areas like Bourbon Street in New Orleans, very famous, Trump Tower, very famous. They both happened within hours of each other, Both these guys are Army veterans. Both these guys went to Fort Bragg. Were in Fort Bragg and were potentially stationed and serving together. This is the guys linked in. Remote Autonomous Systems Manager, Special Forces Operations Manager, Remote Autonomous Systems Manager. I'm telling you what that is. This guy was serving in Germany right now. He's flying drones. He's flying drones in Ukraine. I'm telling you, he's doing that right now. He's active service right now. Active duty right now. It's crazy. This is crazy. So the individual whose name is Matthew Leivelsberger, was currently actively serving.
Forces soldier assigned to 10th Special Forces Group, according to 4 U.S. officials, that he holds the rank of Master Sergeant, a senior enlisted rank, these officials said. 3 officials said he was on active duty serving in Germany, and he was on leave when this happened on New Year's Day. He has not been identified publicly, and authorities are still trying to work out whether this was a terrorist attack.
What do you think it was? What do you think it was? You can see inside of the vehicle the bomb. Elon Musk says it was a bomb planted inside the vehicle. You know how many cameras there are on these Teslas? Like you see everything that's going on around it. But the connections get darker and stranger. Okay, and I want to.
You guys don't find it suspicious that the mainstream media keeps trying to say that this is not a terrorist attack? One of the first things that the sister from the FBI, when she came out, one of the first things that she said, this is not a terrorist attack. Have you guys noticed that? You guys don't find that suspicious?
Focus specifically on the Ukraine connection here, because I think this is particularly chilling and scary. Remote Autonomous Systems Manager. He's in Germany. What is this guy doing? He's building and flying drones in Ukraine. That is what this individual is doing. We know this is happening. The New York Times has reported on this happening. America provides drones and sophisticated warfare. They're testing it all out on the front lines of Ukraine. And Germany is where we have huge military installations, and this is where these operations are centralized. He was in the special forces. This guy had extremely high ranking, extremely sophisticated operational detail. And Jack Posobiec saying this is a massive red flag, operations director and intelligence manager with special forces experience. We have no idea if this had anything to do with it. He was married to somebody who has a history, and I don't want to belabor this too much, but she has a history of posting anti-Trump content. So she was clearly married to somebody who really didn't like Trump, but he himself did not post much from a active perspective. But she was posting like Democrat propaganda. Okay, so we also know that the ISIS terrorist who attacked New Orleans was a Democrat donor. We know that as a matter of fact. Reports are surfacing of the Fort Bragg connection between Shamsur Din Jabbar, this is Shamsur Din Jabbar, this is the ISIS terrorist, and Matthew Leivelsberger, who's been named as the Vegas Cybertruck driver. Fort Bragg has been listed as a common military base, and it's plausible that both of them served there at the same time. Why is this pertinent or interesting? Well, ladies and gentlemen, because Trump's assassin also visited over 100 times Fort Bragg and even stayed the night. That's why it's interesting. This is crazy. Okay, here we go. This is a guy named Tony Segura, and I love following his account. It's very interesting. Big data pioneer, Intel ops, investor, board member. He worked for the CIA, NSA contractor, and he would track cell phones. Tracking cell phones is obviously a very lucrative business because you can really figure out what people are doing, where people are going, get all the data. You can geofence. You can figure out a lot of interesting stuff by tracking cell phones. But we don't have time to talk about that right now. What this guy is saying, Tony Segura, is that after extensive cell phone, laptop, and vehicle GPS data analysis, because all this stuff is public through the carriers, you can buy the information through the carriers, right? Going back 4 years, Ryan Wesley Routh visited Fort Bragg 147 times, staying overnight 29 occasions. Why is this individual going to Fort Bragg? What's going on at Fort Bragg? I've reached out to some people for answers on this. Mike Benz and some other individuals that I know in the military and military intelligence. What's going on at Fort Bragg exactly? Here's what we know about Ryan Routh. Ryan Routh is somebody who recruited fighters from Afghanistan, from like ISIS hotbeds, to go fight in Ukraine. They did no-look visas, meaning Ryan Routh had some type of connection with the U.S. State Department to get fighters into Ukraine, as many bodies as he possibly can. Ryan Routh was very public about this. This guy is here pictured, obviously, in Ukraine. Here's him in Ukraine. Here's him at the U.S. Capitol. How this guy afford all this gear? He didn't work. How this guy afford to get to Ukraine? Nobody knows. Who is Ryan Ralph working for? He's the guy, of course, who was going to kill Donald Trump on his golf course. Well, we know, as a matter of fact, he was working with and for Ukraine, right? He was literally in Ukraine recruiting fighters. His entire life, his entire persona was about recruiting fighters. Some of the first people that Ryan Ruth was followed and was followed by on X were CIA analysts. This guy has some really, really dark connections. Now, I don't know exactly how deep they go, but here's what I do know, ladies and gentlemen, that the individual who blew up the Cybertruck in front of the Trump Tower in Las Vegas is wearing a Ukraine shirt here in this photo. This is a Ukraine army shirt. This leads me to believe that this individual is clearly has some type of connection to Ukraine. He's in Germany flying drones. So what do you think he's doing exactly? Anyway, the point is that all of these guys were all at Fort Bragg. Were they at Fort Bragg together? Is there like a through line connection here? Not exactly certain. But it is a very chilling connection when you consider the fact that nobody has explained why Trump's would-be assassin, was at this U.S. military installation 147 times. What was he doing there? He doesn't serve in the military. This guy's a crackpot. This guy's insane.
We need some answers. We need some answers.
Like a known criminal. He's been arrested 72 different times. He was in the FBI database for owning a weapon when he's a felon, so he can't own a weapon anymore. Why is he staying overnight? What was he doing? Why was he staying overnight? What connection does he have with the State Department where he can promise people no-look visas into a war zone through the United States government? This dude was an op. This is like pretty obvious. And then lo and behold, we have this guy blowing up some vehicle for some crazy, he's an active service member of the intelligence community, blowing up a vehicle at a Trump property. Here he is in a photo wearing a Ukraine shirt. He was doing active duty service in Germany, flying drones. Yeah, okay. No. I mean, remote and autonomous systems manager. What do you think that is? Dude was fighting for Ukraine. Special Forces Intelligence Sergeant, Defense Analyst, and Strategic Studies. Here's what we know. U.S. Army spokesperson confirms that the suspect, Matthew Leibensberger, was active duty Special Forces Operations Sergeant on leave from Germany. He was right there with this 10th Special Forces Group. Jeez. How does such a person get radicalized? Look at this. LinkedIn. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, a lot more questions than there are answers.
Lot more questions than answers. But are we watching the fall of the new Rome? Is that what we're watching? When you think about what caused the fall of Rome, one of the number one issues in Rome was political instability and corruption. Think about this. Think about where we are right now. Tons of corruption and a lot of political instability, especially over the past 4 years. Weak leadership. Rome had a series of ineffective and short-lived emperors. Now, fortunately, we do have Trump getting back in office, but these people are trying to do everything that they can to sabotage him before he gets there. Corruption and inefficiency. Think about our government right now. There's a lot of corruption within the government, and there's a whole lot of, bureaucracy that is bloated and ineffective. And then think about the other thing, division of the empire. And that's where I was getting to with everything that's going on. There is a divide in this country right now between those on the left, those on the right, those who believe, those who don't. There is a divide, and we're literally watching our country crumble from the inside out. And our enemies are sitting back watching this. And this is just so unfortunate, man. It's so unfortunate. The sad part about it is that there's a lot of people out there that don't even know that this is actually happening in our country, and they don't really understand the history behind other, other superpowers and world powers, throughout history. And they don't understand that we're literally walking on frozen ice and summer's coming. We have to get answers to this situation. We have to make some changes, and we need somebody that can bring this country together, because if not, we won't have a country. Again, my prayers and condolences to the family members who have lost people in this tragic incident out in New Orleans. I'm hoping that they catch this guy, that went and blew up the Tesla truck out there in Vegas. Obviously, they caught Shamsur. He's no longer, amongst the living. And ultimately, I would assume that there is somebody else pulling the daggone strings, and they need to be caught and prosecuted to the fullest extent. Again, we have more questions than answers today, and hopefully we'll get answers ASAP. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section. If you watched all the way through, let me know in the comment section that you did watch this video all the way through. This is serious. This is important. I appreciate you guys supporting me. If you want to support the channel another way, consider joining the ARP family. There's a link down there. Click that join button, or you can buy your man a coffee. There's a link in the description box below. I appreciate you guys. I love you. Happy New Year's, and I'm going to catch up with you all next time. Peace.
Vibes so raw, can't hide the truth. Words so sharp.